saw the news that TJ Dillashaw had been removed from the UFC rankings. Then I saw my old ESPN colleague Michael Wonsover report that TJ Dillashaw had retired. So here's the story. That is in fact true. I just spoke to TJ Dillashaw's manager, Tiki Gosen, who's been with him for quite some time, and he informed me that that is accurate, that TJ Dillashaw notified the UFC within the last 2 weeks that he was planning on retiring. Basically, around a month ago, he had the shoulder surgery coming off the Aljamain Sterling fight, and afterwards, when he met with his surgeon, the surgeon told him that it's going to be a long road and there's a chance that he might need a second surgery.
Former two-time UFC bantamweight champion TJ Dillashaw has reportedly informed the UFC that he is retiring from mixed martial arts. News of Dillashaw's retirement was first reported by ESPN's Michael Wonsover and later confirmed by mixed martial arts journalist Ariel Helwani and TSN's Aaron Bronsteter. According to reports, Dillashaw told the UFC of his retirement plans after getting evaluated for the shoulder injury he suffered at UFC 281. He was told the recovery would be extensive, although a specific prognosis has not been publicized. Aljamain Sterling believes TJ Dillashaw is using the Conor McGregor Rule and supports him, while UFC bantamweight champion Aljamain Sterling believes that TJ Dillashaw's retirement motive surrounds his desire to utilize the Conor McGregor Rule. He sees no issue with it. In the eyes of many, Dillashaw's decision to call it quits hasn't come through the realization that his career is over. Instead, they claim that the 36-year-old is taking advantage of a loophole in USADA's system that former two-division UFC champion Conor McGregor has been accused of opening. In a video uploaded to his YouTube channel, Sterling suggested that Dillashaw is indeed following the blueprint allegedly laid out by McGregor.
Support it. But one thing I will say that I do support is that Conor McGregor has seemed to have found a loophole that has helped people in terms of if you have a catastrophic injury, to be able to recover and get back to a norm, which would be something that we would love to have outside of fighting. So when we're done fighting, we have something that we can go back to, some kind of a baseline. We're gonna be beaten up, the head damage is already gonna be done, but physically, if I can walk properly, if I can have my shoulders go above my head and things like that, I don't see any problem with that. So with that being said, I support TJ.
Sterling's remarks run parallel with his immediate reaction to the news on Twitter, with Funk Master insisting he doesn't want to see his mixed martial arts peers plagued by long-term health issues. Magomed Ankalaev claims Glover Teixeira is scared of him. Light heavyweight contender Magomed Ankalaev understands why former champion Glover Teixeira gave up his title shot at UFC 282. During a recent interview with the Schmo, Ankalaev reacted to his short-notice shot at gold, assessing why Teixeira wasn't interested in fighting for the belt opposite him this weekend. He's scared, actually. I believe he's scared. So this is the reason I believe he didn't accept the fight. Ankalaev said, take a look at the video.
В подъеме, в пике, поэтому я думаю, не каждый захочет со мной биться.
This question you gotta ask Glover. I don't know why he didn't accept the fight. But hey, if I was him, I don't know, maybe I wouldn't accept this fight too, because I'm in my prime, I'm only going up, I'm dangerous. He doesn't want to be in trouble, you know, like he is scared, actually. I believe he's scared, so this is the reason I believe he didn't accept the fight.
While some have since suggested that a second dance between Teixeira and Blachowicz would have made for a more intriguing pay-per-view headliner, the UFC's preference means that Ankalaev will have the chance to spread Dagestan's mixed martial arts dominance into a new weight class come December 10th. Conor McGregor hits back at Joe Rogan on steroid use. Conor McGregor is not too happy with the accusations Joe Rogan made about him on a recent episode of his Joe Rogan Experience podcast.
I think Conor could still do it. The real question for me with Conor is what's going on with his leg. And I mean no one in combat sports has had their leg snap in half and come back and been the same or better. Anderson did fight again, but he was never the same again. And Chris Weidman has yet to fight. Conor actually brought it up when someone was asking him about USADA.
It almost seemed like he was justifying drug use at some point. It was kind of wild.
It seemed exactly like
he
that.
was like, you don't know, like, this is like, I took myself out of the pool, everything's on board, and it was like very suggestive of this was within the rules and I had to do it, and you if you don't like agree with my decision, sort of thing.
Not only that, he's taking his shirt off and
Yeah,
posing
that's- yeah.
constantly, and he looks like his would melt that USADA cup.
Yeah.
Like it would just like burn a hole right through the bottom of that USADA
Yeah.
cup.
McGregor took to Twitter to vent his frustrations, putting the UFC color commentator on blast for suggesting that he's been utilizing performance-enhancing drugs. In a now-deleted tweet, the Irishman included a photo comparing Rogan's physique at 25 years old to his physique at the age of 52. McGregor flipped the script on Rogan's steroid accusations, whilst also pointing out that the stand-up comedian and podcaster has never fought in the octagon. Joe looks like his melts his knickers in the company that long and never took a fight hahaha at UFC O Taekwondo competition, Call the Cops haha. Now it's time for our take. Who wins the main event at UFC 282 and becomes the new light heavyweight champion? Since Jiri Prochazka vacated the title and Glover Teixeira pulled out of the card, we're set to see what should be a very fast-paced, entertaining fight between former light heavyweight champion Jan Blachowicz and top contender Magomed Ankalaev. Ankalaev is the younger, hungrier, and more explosive fighter, entering his prime years with a 9-fight winning streak with momentum on his side. On the other hand, Jan possesses the famed Polish power that can put out opponents at will. He is also the more experienced fighter between the two combatants when it comes to championship experience. Ankalaev will probably keep the fight standing, avoids Jan's takedowns, and outclassed him on the feet with his superior kickboxing. He could even finish him with his devastating straight left or signature left kick to the head. However, if Jan manages to take the fight to the ground, it could be a short night for Ankalaev. The Polish fighter has superior grappling and submission skills, all of these being weaknesses in Ankalaev's game. We at MMA Gold News believe Blachowicz hasn't looked very sharp in his previous few fights. Ankalaev is riding on a 9-fight win streak and clearly has momentum on his side. With all that in mind, we pick Ankalaev to defeat Blachowicz by TKO inside 3 rounds and become the new light heavyweight champion. Do you agree with us? Who do you think will become the new light heavyweight champion this Saturday? Make your predictions in the comments, and thank you for listening to another edition of Our Take. Let's get back to the news. Dustin Poirier shares major update on health status. UFC lightweight Dustin Poirier has shared a positive update after being in the hospital for 2 days due to an infection. Poirier took to his social media to update fans on the health problem he has been dealing with. Going on day 2 in the hospital, he wrote, "Shit's getting serious." On Tuesday, Poirier had some good news to share with his fan base regarding his health status. Antibiotics are working. Getting out of the hospital tomorrow morning. Staph infection is very common among fighters. It is very contagious and requires the treatment of a medical professional and antibiotics. Fortunately, things have taken a turn for the better, and there will hopefully not be any complications on his return to training and competition. Dustin Poirier calls out Nate Diaz. And more on the diamond. He wasn't a fan of Nate Diaz's interjection of his recent Twitter banter with Conor McGregor. Poirier, ahead of his planned octagon return next year, got into it with McGregor on social media. In light of a recent hospital stay for a staph infection, McGregor mocked him, resulting in a strong response from Poirier. Diaz then weighed in on the Poirier-McGregor banter, saying that both of them get knocked all the time. It didn't take long for Poirier to hit back at Diaz. In a recent tweet, Poirier issued another call out to Diaz. "Come back for one fight and I'll out of you, bro," Poirier tweeted. Will we ever see a fight again between those three? Maybe McGregor and Diaz should run it back again. Even Poirier versus Diaz sounds like a really entertaining fight. Let us know what you think in the comments below. That's all for today's video. If you want to know the latest UFC news, subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications bell, and click the like button so you don't miss any details about the upcoming fights. Thanks for watching. See you soon.